All right. Welcome everybody. Salute una welcome. Today a big story day, a big story day for all we. So una welcome. I salute all una. All right. All man, una welcome. Una place day. We will start with small time. I get a lot of story for talk for una today. I get a lot of things for tell una today. We get very big important news and a little bit of analysis we're going to do them today. So all man a place day. Una welcome. We'll take small time for wait make our people them for ACN TV, for Ambazonia Liberation TV, make they connect with for ACN so that our people them for Ground Zero, if we talk with them directly for this evening. So when I welcome, when I just give you about a minute or 2 minutes, we go get the story started. All right. So we go to monitor if the people don't connect with for TV. Now we go also once they connect with for the ACN TV, we go also to communicate live also through ACN Facebook page. All right. So all money place there, una welcome. I salute all una. Monitor the ACN people them. The moment they connect with, we will start the story for today. The story for today over plenty, story over big for today. So una welcome all man. Welcome. So when I don't take the time for join we salute una. Welcome everybody. Just we'll start in a few, maybe for 1 minute or so. We'll just wait maybe the people then for ACN. They connect with me. We'll start the story so that the people for Ground Zero they know go get a half of they know get a half of the conversation where one can deliver and for all now today. We'll get very important things and for talk about today. So we'll not feel I'll be very excited. I hope say all Monday fine. While we wait, I just we'll get more story. Also at the end of this conversation, we'll go open the line them. The phone number there for front day. After we don't finish or talk with you the talk, phone number there for the front. We go open the conversation so that what people then for Ground Zero, especially the fee call for ask any question they want ask them about what war of independence, about the USA things a day, how diplomacy they go, what they want know about the stabilization force, what they want. I mean, also if people that get the things in way will also the one make you understand. So it will also be in a place for me for the give answer. So it will be in an exchange. People that ask question and then I'll provide answer about what did happen diplomatically, about what did happen for self defense, what be the place where they now, who's how they go, how how things that they work, all those things. All right. So the ACN people them they never connect with. So but it did like say we no go wait for them. So maybe we'll go actually start and then anytime when the ACN people they connect with, we go we go. But I say the only reason we I never start the conversation, I just because it be very important. We no want make the people them for Ground Zero they miss anything. All right. Because for TV, you know if you rewind TV, you know say for YouTube here, if you rewind YouTube, If not for, I mean, if you rewind the video when it don't finish, if you come back and watch it. But for TV live, if you come back. So I think that will be very patient with the ACN people there. All right, we go start, and ACN people, if it join, I think so we'll start. Or when I just give me a moment, in about 2 minutes, okay, don't show with signal, so we'll already start. Good news don't come. ACN they already connect with directly for ACN TV. So now good news this. We'll start now. We'll start for 1 minute. All right. All right. How many plays day? We can't start. We now live on ACN for Ground Zero. One connect with our Facebook community. We get a very big community for Facebook. When I know say we just for YouTube now our new home. YouTube now our new home. So just I think that the third time this will be broadcast live for YouTube. So we forgive we for the delay. All right. So the people for YouTube, we know if you keep on waiting. Since the people for ACN already connect with, good evening for all now, for all our Ambazonian people, them all across the globe. Good evening for all now. For all our Ambazonian picking them, we salute now. Good evening. For all our papa them and our mommy them, good evening. All uncle them and auntie them, all our Ambazonian neighbors them, good evening. For all Ambazonians, they don't go gather together this evening for say make all we talk together. We reason together, we think together, make all we understand, so that all we go get a common understanding for how things that they move. The good news that they did for the Ambazonian people them. I want time when I say when I don't join me for this evening. For all our friends who they did for Facebook, we salute una good evening for all man. My fellow Ambazonians, I be una brother Asu, we are the press secretary for the Executive Office for Governing Council of Ambazonia. That means I be the spokesperson for the office for the leader for our War of Independence, Dr. Ebacho. When I welcome all my people, today I don't come with some very good news where one can deliver them for now. The thing where one can talk with our people then, now the language, now the things that did happen for the international community, now the changes, the positive changes, the positive messages, the news, we will get them from the international community. Very positive signs. They don't come out within the international community where if you look those signs, they be in favor of the Ambazonian people then. Now the story this one bring them for una today. We go to break them down. What did this one really mean? And then what did the Ambazonian people they get for do for increase the chances for Ambazonia for gain recognition and for gaining independence. We go to talk about. So before we start, make a give on our news. Yesterday, the Ambazonia Defense Forces, they carry out a very big operation. A big operation for morning time. Very big operation for morning time. The first operation, it take place now for the hospital runabout for Bamenda. The Ambazonia Defense Forces, they don't go set that trap. They don't go put fine trap for night. They just wait as they put that trap for night. They just wait. Put fine trap. Just the way La Republique Ekelebe. Big operation for hospital runabout yesterday. When I hear about that one. For enough stay for that early morning too. From Bengui Road. They go put another trap yesterday. Go when I hear about that one. 5 La Republique Ekelebe them. They go down yesterday. So a lot of things that they go on. Also, Ambazonia Defense Forces, they carry out big action for that side for Batibo. DDC, the Ambazonia Defense Forces Deputy Chairman, Comrade Capo Daniel, he don't put out that video for all una. Una don't see how ADF, they don't take over some place them. And they really bring all their soldiers them with the community them. Una don't see them. So a lot of work it go on for ground zero. A lot of big work them that they go on for ground zero. The most important thing we get for really get into, now the talk we don't happen for the international community. Now 2 days ago, for the French Parliament, Sébastien Nadot, the French parliamentarian, he woke up, he challenged the French government and asked them why they still support a brutal, murderous dictator. That's what he asked him for French Parliament. He asked and said, why the French government it is still support a murderous, brutal dictator? Why the French, they never take action for hope or be accountable for the human rights abuses and the crimes that we commit for Ambazonia, on the Ambazonian people there. That same 2 days ago, for German parliament, the German parliamentarian, it take also for the German parliament for also hope or be accountable for a crimes there. And talk say, they say, the international community, they must stop for talk and they must start for take action for hope or be accountable and for make sure say a negotiated settlement it happen. It not end for day. Yesterday, the government of the United Kingdom, the people where they be supposed to deliver the independence of Ambazonian people them to the Ambazonian people them, for their own parliament. It will be a hot topic yesterday. Ambazonia, it will dominate the discussion. A big talk. For the first time since last year, we get this kind of better talk. For the first time, the government of United Kingdom, the elected representatives, they hold their own government accountable for the errors we they commit for 1961, for the betrayal of the Ambazonian people them. Now they need to hide them again. Now they need to talk anyhow. The British parliamentarians, they themselves now they hold the British government accountable for British betrayal of the people of Ambazonia, for British betrayal of the people of Southern Cameroons. They not be to hide their feelings. They need to talk now for some way. They need to talk diplomatic language anymore. Now they talk now straight language. The talk for the international community don't change. Big signals, positive signs that it show say the Ambazonian strategy it work. The Ambazonian strategy of self-defense for increase the guns on the ground, for challenge Cameroon occupation, and for force the international community where they no go get any choice, for force them, for look into the root causes, into the fraudulent union, into this annexation and occupation of Ambazonia by Cameroon. That strategy, if we don't watch what it happen, from Nadot his own talk, from the talk for Christoph Hoffmann for the German parliament, then on top of that, we know what it don't happen for the US Senate, and what it don't happen for the Canadian Parliament 2 weeks ago. The momentum it add up. The pressure on the colonial regime of Paul Biya, the international pressure it mount on La République du Cameroun. The whole world, Paul Biya don't cross the limit where the world not fit tolerate him. They not fit deny him. They not fit ignore him. They don't cross the line. They will not ignore them. But that line where they cross them, if the Ambazonian people, they not be rise up for accept their own rights for life, for exert their own rights for self-defense, for protect themselves, for defend themselves, and defend the Ambazonia land. They were not for the talk. They were not for care. Now, because the Ambazonian people challenged the occupation, it challenged Cameroon. For the way it don't change how the world see the matter. If the Ambazonian people not be challenge Pobia, challenge Cameroon army, challenge the occupation, none of these people for the talk. All those things where they talk say they don't commit human right. If for being just, when I don't commit human right, so make the first Cameroon may change. The change for the international system. Now because of the change of Ambazonia power. Now because the Ambazonian people, they don't demonstrate power on the ground. Especially over the last 2 weeks. With the launching of the first professionally trained army for Ambazonia. ADF new forces, so they call and say they are Kamatsu. With the launching of that force, it take Ambazonia to a whole new level. It take the conflict to a whole new level. It make them enough joke with the Ambazonian people anymore. It make them enough talk say, now something where maybe if they just bring them together, they talk, the matter go end. Now they know say those people, they don't finally woke up as the government, the CIA, the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency for America, it be warned the government of America. I think since 1990, I don't forget when that report will come out. But they be warned. Say they talk say the day where the Ambazonian people, they go rise up and pick up guns. It go be at the end of the Cameroon occupation for Ambazonia. They be predict them. Whereby can predict them for una. Say even if they take now the whole French army, Adam, they no go fit defeat the Ambazonian people then. So the talks, the positive signs for the international community, now a good news for the Ambazonian people, for sure the Ambazonian people, say the strategy of self-defense and targeted diplomacy, it produce the results where will be predicted, where the leader be predicted. Say if we do certain things, we go call the world attention to the Ambazonian people their favor. If we do them, would he do those things? Would he take those actions? Now, make una also hear from una own mob, when I see how the language for inside the British Parliament, it don't change. And then say that they accept the errors with their own government, it be making for 1961. When I hear, I play the video.
Foods. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The situation in Cameroon's Anglophone region remains deeply concerning. We continue to call for an end to all violence and restart an inclusive dialogue that addresses the root cause of the crisis. When I spoke to Prime Minister Ngote in December, I reiterated the UK's commitment to supporting a peaceful resolution on this issue.
Rapidly. The situation in southern Cameroon is indeed deeply concerning. What's happening there to the Anglophone minorities, some 5 million, is terrible. There are numerous human rights abuses. The Francophone president, a corrupt dictator, has been in power since 1982 and is refusing to devolve any power at all to the English-speaking minority. So will the government now act? Will the Foreign Secretary at the highest level take it up with our French allies? They have enormous influence in Francophone Africa. And will the Minister for Africa do the equivalent of old gunboat diplomacy in our soft power age and himself visit southern Cameroons and take this issue up and try and help our English-speaking friends who we betrayed back in 1962?
Una die? The language don't change. The language don't totally change. The language don't change. They need to describe you anymore as people from the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. They need to describe you like a geographic people of Cameroon. They did describe you now as people of southern Cameroons. They did describe you now as people them where the British government be betraying. The language don't change. Make we listen again. When I hear the language.
Number 2.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The situation in Cameroon's Anglophone region remains deeply concerning. We continue to call for an end to all violence and restart an inclusive dialogue that addresses the root cause.
The first thing that the UK minister did for Africa, the first thing we talk, he said they must address the root causes of the conflict. Now the first thing that, very important. They need to talk say, oh, may they just end all the violence. They talk say, make they address the root causes. Now the first thing that, make we continue further.
Crisis. When I spoke to Prime Minister Ngute in December, I reiterated the UK's commitment to supporting a peaceful resolution on this issue.
Rapidly. The situation in southern Cameroon is indeed deeply concerning. What
the situation in where? Southern Cameroons. He not talks about the situation in northwest and southwest. The situation in southern Cameroons. A recognition of who will be as a people.
The situation in southern Cameroon is indeed deeply concerning. What's happening there to the Anglophone minorities, some 5 million, is terrible. There are numerous human rights abuses. The Francophone president, a corrupt dictator, has been in power since 1982.
When they describe it as a corrupt dictator that has been in power since 1982.
Refusing to devolve any power at all to the English-speaking minority. So what will the government now act? Will the Foreign Secretary at the highest level take it up with our French allies? They have enormous influence in Francophone Africa. And will the Minister for Africa do the equivalent of old gunboat diplomacy in our soft power age and himself visit southern Cameroons and take this issue up and try and help our English-speaking friends who we betrayed back in 1962?
All right. So a couple of things here would be very important for all the Ambazonia people then. A very exciting news is they asked their own Minister for Africa, the UK Minister for Africa. They ask, he say, with all which you don't know, with all which you know say they happen, make we stop for talk. We want to ask you, Oga Minister, you promised the Parliament of the United Kingdom, say you yourself go carry your eye, you go carry your foot, you go inside southern Cameroons. They not talk say northwest and southwest. They talk say southern Cameroons. You yourself, you go carry your eye and carry your foot. Go see what did happen with those people. What he talk? He say, yes, Parliament. I go carry my foot them. I go carry my eye. I go there for go check what did happen with the people, with the government of United Kingdom. It betrayed them. The only reason where the Ambazonian people that they go through this genocide, this terrorism, this barbarism, the only reason now because for 1961 the government of United Nation the government of Great Britain, it betrayed the aspiration, the hopes of the Ambazonian people then. When the world, it talks a time don't reach for all colonies, and Ambazonia will be a category B colony territory, just like La Republique, for gain their independence. Instead for give the Ambazonian people their independence, they take Ambazonia. So may they come together with La Republique du Cameroon and form a federation. Now they betray that. So when they see now say, they say, because of our uprising, because of this generation, because this generation talks, say, they say, it no go wait for the international community until the international community can rescue we. We no go rescue ourselves. This generation say, no, we go defend ourselves, protect ourselves, and declare our rights under the sun. For regain our sovereignty. For take back the sovereignty of Ambazonia and constitute a government. We go look after the well-being of the Ambazonian people. That strategy for invoke the right for self-defense and constitute our people them for defend themselves against Cameroon occupation and annexation. Now I don't change the things that happen for the world. Not be that because of human rights. Not because you rise up. Not be that because something that exists for the world. Say human rights. Human rights they be exist on 1961. Human rights they don't exist from 1961 till now. So you don't get anything to do with human rights. Now, I think I want to make will be very clear. You get everything to do with how powerful the Ambazonian people, they don't challenge Cameroon occupation and expose the fraud and put the interest of British companies and their investment for put them in danger. Now the only reason is that they respond. Now because the Ambazonian people, they don't put French interest and their investment for Ambazonia in danger. Now because the Ambazonian people don't put American investments for Ambazonia in danger. Now the only reason is that they talk now. Part of the strategy with the leader designer. Now for get for this point, with the only way for those companies for be able to function and become profitable for Ambazonia. Now for recognize Ambazonia. Now a trap. Now sense. The only way with those companies they go fit for get their money back and for continue for do business. For they will be profitable where they not lost their billions. Now for recognize Ambazonia. Now a trap. Now part of the strategy for use sense for right the wrongs of the past. But with all this sense, if the Ambazonian people they not be rise up and put the kind guns and we don't put them for ground, these things they for still end up for La Republique in hand. Now those guns they don't give we power. So now the international community it only show positive signs towards the recognition of Ambazonia for recognize we as a people with a sovereign territory with well-defined international boundaries and they address we now by our names. Before they call we now people from the northwest and southwest. Now they call you Southern Cameroons. Very soon they will call you Ambazonia. Now the next step that you know they call you Southern Cameroons anymore. The next step now for them for call you for the name where you don't choose them. Ambazonia. It come. They don't move from northwest and southwest. They don't move for talk about human rights. They don't move for talk about other things then. They don't move for tell the the year before they talk say make the government of La République du Cameroon address the human rights problems them. That's so they talk before. Make the government of La République call for an all-inclusive dialogue. Make the government. Now I need to hear that one again. Why? Now because you don't stand strong. When I need to hear them again. Say, oh, make Paul Biya call for an all-inclusive dialogue. When I need to hear them again. Now they talk about a negotiation. They talk about which kind of negotiation. Where? How? Now another one that they talk. So what did this one mean for the Ambazonian people? Now the question that way all money ask them. What did it mean? What did it mean? I say, when they don't start for talk for this level, when they don't start for talk for the way will be one time they talk. Now the time this for the Ambazonian people them. Not be at the time this for the Ambazonian people for say, oh, you know, the UK don't take action, so make we relax. No. You need to relax when you win. You need to relax when they don't talk in favor of you. Now the time this for the Ambazonian people them. We as a smart generation, where we understand the system and the strategy. Now the time this for we for increase the army for ground. Now the time this for we for increase the size of Akamatsu. Now the time this for we for show them another batch of Akamatsu. Now the time this for we for show them another big unit of well-trained soldiers them. Now the time this for we for show them more guns, we will deliver them for ground zero. How the number of guns on ground zero, the number of these well-trained forces for ground zero, now I go determine the nature and the kind of negotiation where the Ambazonia people will get them. Now I go determine the quick recognition of Ambazonia. We don't show Akamatsu. Now only 2 weeks talk down the change for the international system. So it mean now say, now the time this for the Ambazonian people for increased investment for self-defense. Now the time this for we for build more capacity for ground zero. Now the time this for we for take more control for ground zero. Now the time this for we for put more of our army them for more places for ground zero. For expand this army and show power and show our determination for take back our country. The more we put power and demonstrate power and show power, the more the only option where these people go get them. Now the only option, just like that they talk today, for publicly recognize Ambazonia. Say those people, they need their country back. Now then that they don't rise up for take them. You know if you stop this thing, see as they don't defend them. They don't build an army for defend that country, for defend that freedom, for defend that independence. We must recognize these people. We not feel leave them. What the Paul Biya don't do them for these people since 1961. With all the 500 villages so they don't burn them down. These people and La République don't feel live side by side again. It's impossible. You can't repair it. So no matter how much you turn up, these people not feel live side by side with such an evil system. They need a nation on their own. They need a system of their own. But now you got to push them for that level. You see, just like we don't push them for this level. Just like we don't make them don't change their talks. Now we got to take them for that level. Now the next step is for the Ambazonian people. Now we determine ground zero. How we conduct ourselves for ground zero. It determines what the talk of the international system. A weak ground zero, it go slow down the talks on the international system. A stronger ground zero more weapons, more trained forces, more organized forces, with a total command and control structure, where they really see the project power, where they push La République du Cameroon out. He helped Ambazonia. American would trust we. These English people, where they don't accept it, they don't betray we. They go see say there is no other option. There is no other option other than for right the wrongs of the past. And if we need to wait on them, now we did declare them. Now we did declare the right. So diplomacy it be dependent on the power on ground zero. Now the messages where Dr. Abadon tell the Ambazonian people since 2017. That's why I tell we about targeted diplomacy. Now targeted. Your power on ground zero determine how the world see you and how they take you. All politics, it don't matter. No amount of talking, no amount of this, it really matter for this kind. Now power, they determine who you be for the world. You don't make yourself powerful, you could be a slave to the world. You go be in a chop for the world. You go be in a farm where the world, you only come, they can't take them. Yeah, human rights means nothing if you yourself, you not give yourself those rights. Now a people must give themselves the rights. The people for Canada, no wait, make some people can't give them rights. They take their country back. They give themselves those rights. The Americans, they not wait, make some person give them human rights. They kick the British out, take their country back, give themselves human rights. The dignity of the Ambazonian people, now we must give ourselves. England not give you because they never give you. France no go give you because they want to make you remain slave so that they begin to thief all your natural resources and so that you go become, you go spend all your life, find small money for help your picking them. May they get fake donkey or get a visa for come for France, can ask asylum and be a slave. Now they are hope that for African people then. So that you can help for build their economies. And the only thing where you go get them, now small money for send them for your own people then back home. A wise generation like we will not need for leave those things. Make it end for we. Make we be the last people where they leave their homeland because of suffer. Make we be the last Ambazonians where we leave our homeland now because some person they chase we. Make we be the last generation where he ever experience occupation, terrorism, torture, imprisonment, disappearance. Make we be the last generation. We must end them now. We not feel live and make it go one more year. This 2021, it must define the destiny for the Ambazonian people then. We don't start them. The talk for the international system don't change. Now not time for increase that commitment. Now not time for every Ambazonian. I want really appeal for all man. No matter how much you don't donate, I want beg you from where to the Siam, from the things where they happen. I want beg. Make we sacrifice now. If we sacrifice in the next 2, 3, 4 months, we'll go reap big results. When I see the donations, when I make them for Akamansu, when I don't see what will happen now, the world will move. Imagine if we double them. Imagine if we make them 3 times bigger. If all we come together, we commit, we sacrifice, we donate more than any time before, we give more than any time before, we build more of this army for ground, it will change everything for we. And the work that we need for doing, they don't show positive signs. That means in a time this we for sacrifice more. All we feed do. Make, as I don't talk, make this 2021 it be the defining moment for our journey towards liberation. Make this 2021 it be the year where it change everything for our people then. Make this 2021 it be the year where we take greater control of our territory so that it determine the outcome of any negotiation. So make every person sacrifice. Small sacrifice we make them. Just short-term inconvenience. Even if you take your salary for 1 month, you commit, you give them. If you used to give $200, just increase them to $400. If you give 500, increase them to 1,000. If you give 1,000, increase them to 2,000. The small extra sacrifice we will make them. Now for change our people, their lives. We'll get beginning where they suffer as refugees for Nigeria. We'll get maybe where they sleep for floor as refugees for Nigeria. We'll get thousands and thousands of our people. Our people don't do suffer. So we'll get the opportunity for Enam. See all the thousands where they did for La République du Cameroon, their concentration camps. So when they don't die inside those concentration camps, every day they rape our sisters, kill brothers, burn house. Why we need for wait? Make we just stretch ourselves more. Just increase our commitment for the speedy end of all these things and for our people there. And shorten the journey so that our people will start to create environments, safe environments, where our people will start moving. Because now we go determine the negotiation and wait till Ambazonia get them out of that negotiation. By what we do on the ground. Not be now the movie they will act on. Now the amount of physical guns. Not be not just making movie. No, you must make the gun that make the world see them. Now about make the world they see the gun. Make the world they see the forces. They carry the gun them. So after those movies and training, they don't finish. Put that forces them line by line. May they carry that in gang. May the world see them. Now the level that they move there. So when ADF they do these things, when I understand the game, you must also show the power. Not tell people they say be powerful. Power must be seen. The forces must be seen. You must demonstrate them. That's why they move from block by block to static control. Because you demonstrate that power. The forces, you get for show the world the guns. Not be enough until you go talk, say, I get forces. Show the world those forces. Power has to be seen to be believed. All right. Now I work that. So I go open the line there for people they would want call. If you get a question for ask them, now which question you get them for ask? How excited you be since the launch this force? Oh, before we go there, make I address a concern. The leader office, the office of the press secretary for the executive office of governing council of Ambazonia, we don't receive a complaint. Say the forces where they operate around my for Bamenda. We don't receive a complaint from the people that live for that area. Say the forces where they operate around my for Bamenda, they do behaviors where the people for that area they don't like them. Say they stop people them for road. Would you say they take some people they have phoned them? They ask people they may give them small money. They harass the population. The leader don't receive a written complaint. We want to tell the forces where they operate around my for Bamenda. For stop immediately. If you harass the population, you put yourself at risk. We're not bidding for protect the population. We're not bidding for defend that population. The occupier, they harass the population. They intimidate the population. They torture the population. They depend on Guna for protection. So we are not fit exhibit that kind of behavior. It be against the code of conduct of the Ambazonia, the people, and Ambazonia Defense Forces. And if anything happen within that community, the commander for that area, it will be responsible for those crimes. All right. So my phone number there for you. I go take any question. I go open the line there. We will take any question for any two.
Power on. Bluetooth pairing.
For all way we don't talk.
Bluetooth connected.
For all way we don't talk. We will take question for mostly from people then for ground zero. Ground zero now waiting. Now which kind of clarity when I want know. Waiting when I want understand. Waiting be a concern where when I get them for reason. Any question. Ask any question we want ask them. There's no boundaries. All right. Anything we get for do with war of independence. Anything you want to understand, you know, be understand. Whether not about the Akamatsu, whether not about the leader strategy, whether not anything where you want to ask them, as long as it concern war of independence or liberation, I there for you and for answer on a question on behalf of the leader office. All right. So the line they be open. If you call for WhatsApp, if you call directly, if you also call from Facebook, the line they be open. We'll get 20 minutes for take questions and for give answers them. We'll get 20 minutes. So any una be all right. All right. Thank you very much, boss. Okay, so the monitor, the lines will be open for people that when they get question where they want to ask Cam. We'll make sure say every week we go the Cam for talk with our people then and take question and provide answers, provide clarity, provide understanding for our people then. All right, I go make them now. Maybe I say every week at the end of every week we'll make time for can talk with our people then and also listen for our people then. All right, so the lines will be open. We'll take this call from ground zero.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, brother.
Hello. Yeah. Thanks for getting you live on air again.
We'll be very happy for talk on now.
Yeah, my question go. I want to ask what will be the package we will get them for Paco division in particular. Like one, when late General Ivo the city exists, Paco division will be in a hot zone, we will know. But since it died, can't reach right up to now, Paco division really hot in the house, it used to hot. So we get other town that is hot. So I don't know which will be the update and a way forward for Paco division. So, but secondly, at the times, the new force will not create them with the help of both the movement and the Ambazonian people. And at the times, the president, Dr. Ayabacho, for a good and a great work, all the teams and with that spirit, will get behind and we pray every day. May God continue to give them long and good life and strength. Let them continue to carry out their activities. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much.
From you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, my brother. With regards to the ask about what will be the strategy for make sure say not only FACO but most of the other places where La Republic we don't start for take them back for make sure say Ambazonian people they regain back control. While war of independence be based on strategy, it not be based now on how many forces they put and pair within a certain state among the 13 states in Ambazonia. So you be right say when General Ivo be there, he be there alive, and with the strategy, if you follow the strategy, follow the roadmap, FACO be being at the center for a war of independence. The Ambazonian people be control the entire FACO. Unfortunately, some other people that become into a war of independence and they can't scatter all team. They make all the fighters them they not fit trust each other. They make them fighters, they not fit. They talk say if you not come up for a year, you not fit fight for a year. If you not be come up for FACO, you not fit fight for FACO. So it can disrupt all the things that with General Ivo if you don't put them in place and they be the work for produce results to the Ambazonian people. Then. Now they pass that. For place where would they was strategy to already defeat La Republique du Cameroon for Ambazonia. For place where would they now for stabilize ground zero, when we talk say defeat, it don't mean say all their police, army, or gendarme they don't come out Ambazonia. Not be na it mean. What you mean I say they not get control anymore of Ambazonia as they be getting before. Their governors, they not feel work our street anymore. Their SDOs, they not feel work our street anymore. All right, all them behind on a farmer car. That they are defeated. All the senators, they don't run Ambazonia. Parliamentarians, they don't run. So now the Ambazonia, they don't defeat La Republique du Cameroon because Cameroon don't lost administrative and the ability for govern Ambazonia. Now what will they go through now a military occupation. The political occupation don't end. Now they not for military occupation. Now only their army, police, gendarme. Now them. They control, they help the few them, they deal them. Where they hide for Amoka. May they even exist. So the strategy now for increase the size of the kind army them, where they fit do the kind work, for push them for some kind places where they stay there, including FACO. The leader the work on a good plan for FACO. When I see what happened during the African Nation Cup Championship, you see how the leader he help all the forces them for FACO and for Meme, they come together for work together. So with the work on approach them way for place where they, the strategy don't change because ground don't change. So they work on strategy, the way they go make our forces, they go become very powerful. Where they fit fight the new kind fight for place where they now always. All right. So trust. Say la Republic a time for Ambazonia don't end. Now that the Ambazonian people them will take now control for stabilize our communities and flush la Republic du Cameroon. There are small authorities where they still get them for certain places of Ambazonia like Fako. They work on that plan and they will implement and execute that strategy and will be very happy with it. It could happen. All right, especially when I don't see these forces them, these specialized forces them. They will send them for places when I will see the result by ourselves. Okay? Any other question? We'll get 15 more minutes. We'll get 15 more minutes. So the lines will be open for all man. For any person we want call, any question we get them, any concern where you get them. Even if you get some worry, call, feel free for talk. But we prefer calls from ground zero because one mostly hear from our people for ground zero so that make we also hear the feel and how they think. And so that we feel provide reassurance and the kind of understanding will be needed for this critical time. So that make all our people, they get the confidence. So the freedom of Ambazonia will be guaranteed and the recognition of Ambazonia as a state will be guaranteed for through our strategy on the ground and the diplomatic strategy for targeted diplomacy. It yield a lot of results. So the lines will be open for all man. We could take this call from America. Hello, comrade.
Yes, comrade.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, and thanks for the good job.
Thank you, bro.
Yes, for supporter brother, we call for Fako. Truly, Fako don't need it hot again. But I call on all Ambazonians, make they put in their resources for place where they could deliver the results. No too magic, no day. Make they put resources for place where they could deliver the results. No go look some bank where it be headed by thief man. You go put your money there. Tomorrow you come there for withdraw that money. They say money no day. Put resources for place where results go there. And Ambazonians should not be discouraged because in a revolutions there are low moments and there are high moments. And so as my brother Brown talk, make we continuously defund the boys. They need them. La Republic is finished economically, politically. As you rightly talk, wait to happen now for Ambazonia is just a military occupation. And that is the last lap. Once we flush their military, our territory is free.
That's right.
We can now govern ourselves.
That's right.
We now set our ideas as we wish, live as a free people. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, my brother. Now that the next time I will call you, man, you can't add your voice to my show. You talk fine too. Thank you, brother. The lines will be open for all man for call. All right. We got 10 more minutes for take calls. I check Facebook. I check message them. I check WhatsApp. If any person don't leave a message. The lines will be open for all man. Now feel free. No question. If you ask any question, we want them as long as it concern a war of liberation. All right. We prefer. Okay, we'll take this call from ground zero. Good evening. Good evening for you. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Good evening. Would hear you fine. All right. So we'll get a few more minutes. As I promised, 20 minutes for calls. We'd already used 10 of those minutes. So all right. So the lines will be open for all, man. Thank you for your advice. Thank you for your advice. The forces of the the forces of the train, no, not the forces of the train. The second budget training a long time ago. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Hammer. Thank you very much for your kind words. Thank you very much. Oh, before I go, I want I get a surprise today. Before I go, I want to show a surprise. Anything we got to do a war of independence. Anything you want to understand. I get a surprise today. I get a big surprise. You know, I don't come out work. I go work half day, and then I don't come so that I come for my small studio, do this work, and then I'll go back, go finish my half day work. And I want to come. I get a big surprise for you know. I just talk say blessings when we do this work with all our heart. Oh, maybe we take this call now. Tell my story. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello.
Good evening, Congress.
All right. Right on.
Yeah. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes. You don't talk say the international community now. They don't begin talk about this way problem now. And true we for Ground Zero with the ESA all international community they don't begin talk about this way problem. But one thing I want to talk for you, some of them they talk the direct way say may they go for that switch talk for day where they go negotiate how we feel discuss end this with conflict. But when they talk about that switch talk. Why?
All right. Thank you very much.
Congress.
All right. You don't talk fine. Now make an answer a question. I go drop the line and then I go answer the question. Yeah?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, my brother, for the question where you don't ask him. You talk, say, some of the contingent that you talk about, saying that for the Swiss talk, they will go talk about this matter. The Swiss talks, now, that's something where the Swiss, through the Swiss government, through their NGO, or the Swiss NGO, where they call and say HD, through the Swiss government, now then they be the first people them where they take up the process publicly, say the one being at the people where they will help for bring mediation for this problem. When they come out, the Swiss HD, they can't talk, say they say, then the one help make peace, it come back for Northwest and Southwest regions of Cameroon. And the first thing that they talk, when they come out can announce it, then they want to take the responsibility for help do dialogue. They talk say their role where they want plan. Now for make sure say peace in return for Northwest and Southwest regions of Cameroon. so that Cameroon government, if it apply the decentralization, we don't promise them. And if they make peace return, Paul Biya apply decentralization, the people, they will be very happy. Now the thing that was the Swiss people, they'll be talk, saying that the solution that decentralization. The position of the governing council of Ambazonia. The Ambazonian people, they not be rise up for ask for decentralization. So when a third party, it come out, it decide the solution, and then ask Ambazonia, say, I don't decide the solution, when I can't accept that solution, and then we'll go for that process for achieve the solution when I don't decide that. Then that person, it not be a mediator anymore. Now it facilitate now the implementation of the Cameroon agenda. Now the argument that with the governing council of Ambazonia, he put them forward. Say the Swiss, they no go fit can decide on the agenda, saying if I apply decentralization and make peace return, and they be actually call the Ambazonian people, say, you know, they be describe them, you know, they be actually call Ambazonian people, say they do not political agitation. They not talk about anything about the Ambazonian people, their right for self-determination. They not talk about addressing the root causes, which have been the fraud of the union. So that's why the governing council of Ambazonia, he outrightly reject that claim, that position from the Swiss, because it not reflect the aspiration and the demands of the Ambazonian people then. Now the first thing that. Secondly, the Swiss people then, they not be get any commitment from the Cameroon government. They not be get any commitment. And they not be fit for proof. Say they be get any commitment from Cameroon government. So you understand now why would they be get for reject them? So the people then, when they come out, they go for the Swiss. The same people then, 1 year after, the Swiss they deter and say, well, we'll be very sorry. Say Cameroon government no one come for table. So when you hear say some countries, they talk say they say the Swiss process, it will be in a place where the figure negotiate. Now because once a person or a country or an organization, it take up the responsibility, say, now you go and be the mediator, no other process, if it continue, except the Swiss, they finally come out. For talk say, they say, they no fit, since Biani the commit, then they go abandon the process. So now it's already happen, and that's why they still call the Swiss. But from what I want make you understand, you know, the Swiss then too, they don't get meetings with the governing council of Ambazonia, and the governing council of Ambazonia, it don't make me be clear to the Swiss. Say we not go accept that position because it not even meet the minimum standard for a fair and a transparent mediation process or negotiation process. And until the Swiss, they improve that process and make that process transparent and credible. The one the way they go there, when I don't see what it don't happen, it don't be another 2 years. No inch, it never come out. Instead, they start to laugh them because they go sell themselves cheap by going there in the first place because they don't even know the agenda. Okay? So the process must be transparent. It must be credible. Number 2, the position of governing council of Ambazonia. He also talks, say, the Swiss, they almost be like France to La République du Cameroun. Switzerland, na Paul Biya is second home. So the Swiss, they not be that neutral. So the Governing Council of Ambazonia, it proposed to the Swiss, say for that process to be credible and acceptable for meet international standard, they got to be multilateral. Not be only the Swiss, they will be for the table. We need to make the Swiss agree, make Ambazonia get guarantors where they will join the process. Also, for make the process, make it strong, make it be transparent, make it be credible. And once it meet the standards for that kind of negotiation, for guarantee fairness, once it meet those standards, and La République du Cameroon commit, the Ambazonian people will be ready at any time for get into a meaningful, credible negotiation. But until Cameroon commit, until that process be transparent and meet international standard of fairness and credibility, until it be multilateral, it never be a point where we fit look at that process like a credible process. A lot of things that go on, and things they say they don't accept. By the way, the Swiss people, they accept the position of Governing Council of Ambazonia, say yes, their position where they don't propose them, it meet international standards. And even while international partners, the Swiss, they don't also agree, say the position of Governing Council, it meets international standard, and they think say for make the process, make it get weight, and make it be credible, where the Governing Council will participate. Remember, the Governing Council of Ambazonia, now the leading movement, where they lead this revolution. Without the Governing Council, nothing moves. The Swiss process don't prove it. Without the Governing Council of Ambazonia, nothing moves. Because the Governing Council, now the guarantor for the aspiration of the Ambazonian people. No person will sell this generation cheap. Nobody. And no foreign power it will decide for the Ambazonian people. I hope I answer your question. I'll take one more question. Thank you very much, brother. I think I take this last. I said you had overseas today. Call back.
I guess we'll call back, brother.
Go ahead.
Okay, which I want to get on that point where I want to really point them out. It go like this. I want to appeal and at the back. Say this social media propaganda at the appeal. So now some it's fine and enough fine. Where we see forces that they train, you know what I'm talking about. Some messages continue the way it be highly classified way. They feel release and when we don't do boya, you see what your forces they don't go through. What your forces don't train. But when they make so although the enemy to the big deceive, it is fear that for me, I know it not be the best way for the show right now. That one I highly classified information where it comes to military. So at the appeal say you are defense force. Maybe she don't done they draw a roadmap for certain things that we did give for the show out for the public at the appeal, my brother, at the back. Thank you very much, brother.
Okay, thank you very much. So one of our brother where he sent a message. He just talks. He don't put $10 for this better outing way. Who don't make them today. All right. So he don't put $10 for 5 bullets for this better outing. Who don't make them today. Thank you very much. All right. I be talks. I be get some story for tell now. When I know say I be person where I always like for tell una good stories. So na me that. I don't go work 4 hours. I don't go do 4 hours of my work. I just start to my rush, come back for house, make I can't do this outing for a year. And then I will go back for work so that I go finish my work day. So that I make sure say if we do both, all right? We'll get the energy and the commitment for do both. Now me that I want come, now for I want check, I don't see parcel, they don't can deliver parcel. 90s. Today, this morning. 90s. The parcel this. Wait, they don't can deliver. 90s. Yes, yeah, the parcel that. So I open the parcel. The minute I open the parcel, 90s. When I see them. When I know what it is inside. Ain't that? See, parcel. Now the parcel that way don't come. When I know what it is inside.
Power off.
Who if guess what it is inside this parcel? Now if you guess. 90s. See when I see parcel. Who if guess what it is inside? I open them for all when I'm gonna see them. 90s, see parcel. Alright. So a comrade, we no say I like for dress up. That one I don't my fashion that since I did small. I be person I like for dress me up. Alright? Don't man must dress up. So don't man you must dress up. You must carry yourself well. Alright? Because yourself, you must carry yourself well, you must take care of yourself. So that's why I don't be me since I did me small. So now one comrade, he never even put in name. He know say I be person who like better tie. I be nyanga boy. I make better nyanga. I like style. Now that now comrade, he knows I like better thing them. Now that he don't go buy 12 tie. 12. 90s. Ambazonia wanna see 12 ties. 12. See 90s more count them. 1, 2. The one it did like go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12. When I know the funniest thing, the person not even put in name. He not even put in name. They just put now only my address. 12 ties. With another brother, or maybe a sister, another comrade. I don't even know the country. Well, when I opened this package, you know, I almost it almost bring me tears from my eye. It almost tears of appreciation. I talk to where now which I don't really do and for deserve all this kind of kindness and all this kind of love. I want to thank this person plenty. If we be there, this thing and for our forces, not be for me. But I accept the gift. Thank you from my heart. Whoever you be, thank you. Thank you, 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 thank you so much. I want to thank you plenty. Thank you. I'll be very grateful and I'll be very appreciative. Thank you very much. As we don't talk, do good work with all your heart. Especially for people. Love will generate love. Kindness will generate kindness. A clean heart and a true spirit. Everything we do where people take notice of our heart. people they know. You no need to tell them. They see a clean heart, they see a clean spirit, they see person where he be dedicated to the for fight and make sure what people they achieve their aspiration. Ambazonians they know who be who for Ambazonia. So for all una prayers and una love and the kindness you wanna show for me as the leader, press secretary, I'll be very grateful for the trust and this kind fellowship. I don't get out that word if you talk. I'll be very grateful. So thank you for the ties. We'll find ways for send this tie them for our forces them. I go find way. There is always a way. I know it's the gear for me, but I think in our forces they deserve her. Even the shed where our brother sent her for me, with all that love, I want to make now a soldier wear that shirt. Now he deserve for wear that shirt, not be so. Now a soldier they deserve for wear this tie, not be me. Now our brothers the way they did for prison, they deserve those clothes and the tie, not be me. We will find way for send them for them. I want to thank you plenty. Now I talk this for today. When I get a good night. May God bless all now. Now continue to be focused on the objective. Focus for support Ground Zero. The leader will talk now in the next few days. The leader get a powerful message for deliverance for the Ambazonia people in the next few days. So in the next few days, when I expect an outing from the leader. All right? When I get a good night, as always, I love una plenty. May God bless all una. For all our people with the watch tonight, we love una plenty. For all papa and mommy them, una take care of each other. Okay? Una good night. May God bless una.
Menemo, I have fucker. I'm tak better with international. My friend is all freestyle, but in my bed with different storylines, with different punchlines. A Jongzo and a more universal rapper.
AJ on track.
Namsi na anuru ba wana obasa na pombe ne kwa mu miracle but in my rap so catching my rascal menemo ango am better na ton akabedo an YouTube to the connect don tikira ni life is strong alive na ton ba ton menemo awo when better cap wo when ka be awo when ka no chugo when ka ke dinga saka mo ba ka chin mo ba ka mo fete mo bana cha mo kuma binga kam ina back up ma jam papa sanga no de ma hanko mo nuru fiya kala da bus mo rapping anta da gimbe ne ga mangam kane ma kana ki mo ma zama na mo eta to be non kam anta ka be ta manyi ni me tam su da mana weta ma benga yini ga manam ko anga open rap ni ka for mo to ko ba sa ambu mi tingu tini ma ko ru isingu ngom ba no ira baziran jini ba imba ngom no ira baziran jizam ngoma zama bu pe baziran jini ga ba ga ni ngam mo ba kan jiro bo raba ngama benga woni nga benga mazama bu ko benga uza ko ra ve shoto ne vex zama za obi the next boma woni the next move up in the class ba tab chom tu chom miru chom fe chom sima ba ga ni ay mo bune to ga ba ni ye mo bune te beru chom menemo